Councilwoman Wells and Councilman Mears.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item 3, council discussion and approval of ordinance number RZ 2024-01, the rezoning of 0 Ferguson Court from RS to RM. Background and history. The subject property is a vacant lot measuring approximately 0.16, give or take miles or acres, located at 0 Ferguson Court in Council Ward 2 and is currently zoned RS, single-family residential. The property is vacant and comprises of trees and shrubbery. Its location is between a single-family residential home to the east and south of the property is an apartment complex to the west of the property. The applicant's request is to rezone the property from single-family residential to multifamily residential to construct a new construction 2-family duplex style home. Good evening, Mr. Shelby.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening.
The applicant is requesting to rezone the property on Ferguson Road from single-family residential to multifamily residential. And they're going to construct a 2-family duplex style home. And I would assume that it's all in your packet. You can see the picture of the home. Staff recommended approval and the Planning Commission recommended approval as well.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman James,
No questions, thank you.
Councilman
No
Antoine,
questions.
Councilman Gutierrez.
How you doing, Director Shelby? Good. I don't have a question specifically about this. Thank you for this very thorough presentation. I guess my question is more related to the trees. Did we ever implement that policy, City Manager, about the trees? Like, I really want to make sure that we, something that we always get, complimented on is our beautiful trees that we have in Forest Park. So I know we talked about the 1-for-1 tree thing, Ricky.
Yes,
Yeah, but-
sir. It was implemented, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, the tree protection ordinance here in the city. And what happens is, based upon the development, you submit the information to PC&D, and from there, they handle it. I think we've only had one, I believe, or something like that.
Something, yeah. Yeah, but we're aware and we do have an ordinance. When we changed the zoning ordinance, if you recall, we changed the tree ordinance as well.
How does it work?
It works when you cut down a tree, you have to plant another tree. And then it all depends on the number of acreages you have. It's calculated based on the number of trees that you have that you would have to replace. There's a formula for it.
I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then subsequent to that, do they pay into a fund?
We don't have that. That's something we could probably talk about doing, but we don't have that.
I know that was some of the conversation, Councilman Gutierrez, when I shared with you just some of my experience. The alternate, if they don't want to replace the tree, you could also have a tree fund essentially, by in which based upon whatever this matrix and or calculation is, they pay into this tree fund for other projects around the city.
And that's absolutely correct. And in some places, you can plant trees in other areas of the city, like at a city park or something like that. But we don't have that in place at the moment.
Okay, I think we got to keeping track of this and highlighting this is going to maintain, just the beautification of our city. I don't know how we can do that. Or like, I know we're keeping track of it now, but where are these, actually being planted if we're taking them?
We can take a look at that.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells and Councilman Mears. All right, item 4, council discussion and approval of case text amendment 2024-03 to increase the number of units per acre by way of a conditional use permit. Background and history. The Downtown Development Authority and the city have received several proposals on properties within the downtown Main Street district. The proposals call for higher density than what is allowed in Main Street subareas. In response, the Planning and Community Development staff is proposing a text amendment to development standards in the sub areas to allow for greater density with the approval of a conditional use permit. Conditional use will require discretionary approval from the city.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sir.
The planning department is proposing this text amendment to the development standards in the sub areas. There are like 3 sub areas in the Main Street District Overlay District. One is traditional downtown core, mixed use village, and mixed use center are all on Main Street. And what we're doing is we're amending the zoning ordinance to include the language, for example, in the traditional downtown core, the number of units you can have is 12 per acre. We're amending the ordinance to say that residential density over 12 units per acre will require a conditional use permit that would come to the city council as well to vote upon. And in the mixed use village, it says our maximum density there is 24 units per acre. And if a developer wants to go beyond the 24 acres, 24 units per acre, he would have to come before the council for final approval after going through the planning commission. And then finally, we have the mixed use center. The residential density there is anywhere from 25 to 35 units. And we're saying that if a developer wants to go over the 35 units per acre, he would have to get a conditional use permit. The conditional use permit can, we can require the developer to present for an example, a transportation plan. If we ask him to do that, he would have to do that in order to get his permit. It's just a way of check and balances for us. We want development, and we want to be able to control the type of development that we have within these sub areas. So the planning commission approved based on the staff recommendations.
Thank you. Councilwoman James,
No questions, thank you.
Councilman Antoine,
Thank you.
Councilman Gutierrez,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells,
Thank you.
and Councilman Mears. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to recess the work session, enter into executive session for personnel, litigation, real estate, or legal matters? That was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilwoman James. And all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. I'm One and one on the other one. All right, is there a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene into our work session?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. All in favor? All right, thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn the work session?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilman Antoine. All in favor? All right, thank you. It is 7:03 and the regular session for mayor and council for June 3rd is called to order. Let's see the invocation. Oh, Bishop Fortson, good evening. So Bishop Fortson from Paradise will do tonight's invocation. To all those who can stand, please do so, and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for an opportunity to come together to do business for the city. You said in your word that first of all, supplication, prayer, and intercession, and giving of thanks should be made for all men, for kings, and for all of those that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty. So tonight, Lord, I pray for our mayor, that she will continue to guide the city in the way that you have given her. We pray for her wisdom, knowledge, and strength to be able to share with the council, the peoples of Forest Park, and other leaders and organizations how working together will benefit our great city. I thank you for the great leaders that you have surrounded her with, who serve with knowledge, honesty, and integrity, because we know that everything rises and falls on leadership. We pray for those that have come tonight, whatever question that they have, we pray that they will receive an answer of satisfaction. We pray for our leaders tonight, that you give them wisdom in their choice when they make their decisions about the agenda tonight. And we thank you in Jesus' name. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, individually, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Hood, roll call, please.
Good evening. This is the roll call for June 3rd, regular session. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James,
Present.
Councilmember Anton,
Everybody, how's everybody doing?
Councilmember Gutierrez, Councilmember Akins Wells.
Here.
Let the record reflect that Councilmember Akins Wells and City Manager Clark was in attendance to the to the work session, and they were on time.
So depends on the clock that we go by, okay? Let's get that right.
And Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. The adoption of tonight's agenda. We are deleting item number 6. So is there a motion to,
We have two more additions, Mayor Butler. Per our charter, I'm recommending the confirmation of Nicole Dozier as our Community Development Director and Sydney Marcellus Williams as the Economic Development Director for the City of Forest Park.
so those would be items, I guess, 6 and 7. So is there a motion to accept tonight's agenda, to adopt tonight's agenda, excuse me, with the changes recommended?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. All in favor? All right, thank you. Now, the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the minutes from the regular meeting and our work session from May 20th?
Yes, Mayor.
And are there any changes to be recommended?
No, Mayor.
Not hearing any. Is there a motion to group set minutes together and approve as is? Let me see.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
All right, thank you. Public comments. Ms. Hood, can you read the disclaimer, please?
Per the charter, section 217, rules of procedure and decorum. Comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes per speaker. 21 minutes are allotted in total. Members of the public are not allowed to participate in any debate or discussion conducted by the governing body members. All public comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over which the governing body has jurisdiction. Each speaker must maintain a decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon members of the governing body or employees, shouting and using obscene language. All questions and comments shall be directed to the presiding officer. Members of the governing body may respond to the comments during their closing comments if they desire.
Okay, thank you so much. We have 3. And Mr. Evans, you're up first, sir.
Good evening, everyone. First thing I want to talk about is still having problems with this phone system, and the staff has already started working on the issue, but y'all should have never changed it. Just because you can do something, don't mean you should. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We had dedicated numbers to the specific departments, and they switched them around and deleted some and everything else. If you want to create something, a directory here that the outsiders that don't know the city don't have, that you could create a new number and let them call that and then put a phone tree in there where they could connect it. But we don't have staff, you know, they're not staffed properly over there at the rec center to handle all the phone calls for this city. You know, it's just for years, like I said, if you needed to talk to somebody, you could call directly to that department and talk to somebody. That was never a problem. And I'm having some, I had some problems with the home program, trying to get through to get some answers and all that stuff. And nobody picked up the phone. I mean, I called twice and nobody picked up the phone. And one time I left a message and I waited an hour and nobody returned my call. And, you know, and I've got some questions, like I said, about the home program. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You got to get 2 quotes. But if you need electrical work, HVAC work, or roofing or whatever, you only have 1 contractor that's doing that. And general contractors don't do, like if you have, say, electrical work where you need to pull the meter. General contractor didn't do that because of the permitting issues and everything else. It's got to be done. And in most general contractors, they don't do the work themselves anyway. They hire subcontractors, and it's on TV all the time where general contractors collect money and then don't pay the subcontractors, and subcontractors end up suing homeowners or whatever and putting liens on people's houses and things like that. So yeah, if you're having a room addition or something put on, you know, you need that. But I know that there were some issues with the contractors, with the licensing and things that we were having, but something needs to be done about that. I mean, it's just, it's been messed up from the get-go. And so we need something to work on that. And also some of these streets, we've got tree roots that are 4 to 6 inches high, and you have to go in the opposite lane to keep from hitting that. And it's been that way for years, and got some streets that's got holes in there that could swallow a Volkswagen, and we can't get those fixed, but we can pave the doggone driveway over here by Pizza Hut. I mean, that just don't make a whole lot of sense why our crews was over there in that driveway working. But anyway, thank y'all very much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Holtzclaw.
Mayor, council members,
Good
Good
evening.
evening, sir.
take this off to see who I am. I come here tonight to ask the council members a question. We had a variance sign put up down on 730 Scott Road on for the meeting to be April the 18th. It put up 10, 12 days before. Okay, it wasn't put up at 0 Scott Road where all this 40 houses on 4 acres of land they want to do. It was put at 730 Scott Road. The lady who lived at 730 Scott Road, it scared her. She didn't know what it was. She said the city's trying to take her property, and I assured her it's something else going on. Anyway, I waited 10, 12 days. We never got a letter in the mail. So I went down to the Department of Development and Zoning, and I was told everything I need to know about it is on the sign. If I needed to know more, I need to go get a disclosure. Seemed like a lot of work, but anyway, I finally did receive a letter the day before we had the meeting over here. And, let me jump on down the road a few days later. On April the 13th, the week before we went to the meeting over here on that Thursday evening, we had a group of people come down Scott Road, parked their cars at 730 Scott Road and 0 Scott Road, took the sign up from 730 Scott Road, took it down and put it in 0 Scott Road, and they proceeded to have some kind of celebration like they got away with something underhanded. And they've been, I want to know, one more thing. I checked around to see what the meeting should or could have been about, and Scott Road is 18-foot wide. And they said, there's no need now to turn Scott Road into a 44-foot wide road. 40.5 foot will do. For a 44-foot road, that's the size of a cuttle sack. There's only 3 houses down Scott Road. That 18-foot road does us really good. I don't know why y'all want or going to, boy, that's just rumor hearsay. But what I want to know is from the city council, can zoning or Department of Development change zoning in any way to just change the zoning from single family to something else without any of us knowing about it? And that's my question for y'all tonight.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Falami.
Two over here and two over there.
I have to use my terminology. I may have to ask for a point of privilege, governing body. Good evening. I would like to introduce to some and present to you all the 2024 Junior Varsity Volleyball Championing of Forest Park Recreation Leisure Center right here at 803. Can I get you all to give them a round of applause? Within saying that, oh, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, but that's good. Okay. In saying that, I'm also standing with them because there are a lot of things that we need to look at our leisure center for. On yesterday, and for the last 20+ years, I've been sponsoring banquet. Our coaches, basketball and volleyball for the city of Forest Park. And on yesterday, I had at least 30+ eloquent, elite type speakers, all the way from Little Bankhead to Miss Jane did stop in and peep in. I can go on and on. I don't want to use that. I want to put it on them. These 3 young ladies you see behind me and one, the 3 of them attend Elite Scholar. They are scholars. With my team, I hold them to standards. They must maintain an A or B average to play for Coach Falami. And that's coming in. I tell the parents, I must have a progress report and they must meet my requirements. And the fourth person that I didn't call attends Forest Park High School. Is that correct? And she's shy. She's very shy. But these are scholars. And we should have in our budget, we coming up with our budget, the 25 budget, something in there to salute these scholars and children in our community when they accomplish such a big goal. We went out and completed the task of this with 7-1. We only lost 1 game. And for that, with them being able to do their study, their academics, and then their parents are here, if you all could wave your hand, they get off their job to bring them into our city to participate. We need to be doing a lot more for our leisure. Many nights we went to practice, we had to get out because other things was taking place and we had no knowledge. This is nothing against our director, but it is something against communication. And I am a different type of coach. I do literacy at each of these schools every year. Don't miss a beat. I invite some of the people in this room. I invite some of you all because my children in my community in the city is my priority. The senior and myself and this children, that's me. Because I'm a senior. I just look young, but I'm a senior. I am a senior. I'm Bishop. Okay. So what I would like to see for appointed privilege, please,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
What I would really like to see is that going into this year, budget, put something there. If we do something collective, collaborative for all the coaches that volunteering with children. Now, many of them are not like me. They are not like me. I hold standards. I hold standard. You cannot come and chase a ball and you flunking out of school. That's just not gonna work with me. And I send, and sometimes I go to the school, to the counselor, to the principal to ask how is that child in school, off court, and also I ask the parents how they're doing at home with their child. I won't be long, I'm getting ready to drop it. But nevertheless, I did announce for Councilman 3 that you will be carrying them to dinner. And Councilman 3, we're gonna hold you to that. And we're not going to McDonald's or Burger King. That's what we're not gonna do. Governor Biden, I greatly appreciate you all for the hearing. If y'all could give it to the scholar one more time, I greatly appreciate it. God bless you. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Palami, Mayor Butler, Javon is gonna get a picture.
Oh. If you wait, you guys could stay back at the podium. We're gonna get a picture of you guys.
Okay. If you all can just stand right across the back of they rotate right across the back of that chair. Now look at me.
No, no, they're gonna turn the other way. Javon's gonna come and take a picture of you guys.
Yeah, turn this way, Amina. Turn this way. Okay, he gonna move this, don't worry. They knew. You have to train up too. You wanna get the parents in there too? Yeah.
I have my-
Oh, okay.
What do you want? We can do the number one. Ready? One. We want to get the parents in? Parents.
And the governing body.
And also, I want to love the pepper guy, please. I want to tell y'all about a little done. You gotta have wild land from land. No. Yeah.
I've heard you.
And we provide big, whatever. But we had a president called Little Johnny. And Little Johnny actually, let the girls know from me that we this person to follow the, share the ball with. So, Little Johnny lives here, I won't point him out, they go. And move on. All right, thank y'all so much. Go ahead.
City managers report, is that where you're at? All right, Mr. Clark, you have the floor for the city managers report.
Yes, ma'am. First, Mayor Butler, if you don't mind, I'd like to apologize to Mr. Carl if he called our offices and couldn't get no one. Our team will investigate that on tomorrow. We did have to make a change with the phone system governing body because what was happening is our residents were calling and you couldn't find out where they were going. So I'll find out tomorrow morning and report back what happened with that failure. So my sincere apologies Mr. Carl, for that happening to you today. The other thing I'd like to give is an update on the home program. As with all things, nothing is perfect, but I can share with you, we've used more medians than you'll ever imagine to communicate not only with all of the residents within each of your respective wards, but with contractors all over. This program, of course, was authored and funded by this governing body, totaling $1.2 million. We received north of 200 plus applications. However, there is a process for verification and eligibility, as these are not just City of Forest Park dollars. This is a federal funded program. And so to that end, there are 9 contractors with respective, their general contractors, their electrical contractors, HVAC contractors, roofers, flooring. Similar to the way we tried to spread the message to the community at large, north of 8,000 postcards were mailed out to every residential unit in this city, just to ensure that this community knew of this awesome and amazing program that this governing body has allowed. To that end, 62 applicants have been approved, 10 of which are in Ward 1, 8 of which are in Ward 2, 15 in Ward 3, 19 in Ward 4, and 10 in Ward 5. Of the applicants that submitted information, 3 of their applications were withdrawn. Now that we are to a point to where we can see clearer, now that the sunshine is back, because of course, when you're establishing a program like this, the reason why we wanted to bring it in-house was because it saved us $250,000 to do it in-house. So I am most proud of Ms. Pauline Warrior and the assistance of the council aides who have helped go over each application with every resident, our legacy members that have came into the city to apply. And so I would like to give an opportunity for Ms. Pauline to go further into just a short synopsis of where we are with the home program and what is to come.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Clark, and thank you to the governing body, and thank you to our constituency at large. It is my pleasure to provide a little bit of a snapshot, especially to our residents, and certainly want to thank all of our participating residents for your flexibility, your support, and your participation. As Mr. Clark has said, we have worked feverishly in order to bring a program that boasts integrity and that we can be proud of. And so everything that we do with the residents in mind. And so we do have 9 qualified contractors. And we went through a studious process, and we did that with deliberate intention to ensure that we could protect the citizens of the city of Forest Park. And so what that really boils down to is that every contractor is certified and licensed to do business, not only within the state of Georgia, but also within the city in which they serve. And so I'm hopeful that as we begin this process, that our residents will find comfort in knowing that there is less likelihood for any traumatic event to take place simply because these folks have been vetted. And certainly if there are any questions for everything that we do that with transparency, we do that with integrity, and we operate within our executive office with the highest morals and ethics. And so I'm always happy to answer any questions. Most of the constituents know me. Most of the constituents call me. I spoke with someone at 7:30 this morning. And so I'm always available and always happy. So please call me. You can call me. I'm here and I'm not hard to find. Anything else, Mr. Clark?
Mayor Butler, that concludes my report of the home program. If there are no questions of Ms. Warrior, I'll go deeper into the city manager's report.
Okay, Councilwoman James, Councilman Antoine.
Thank you for the update.
Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Gutierrez,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells,
You handled it so well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilman Mears.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
Mayor Butler and governing body members, I'd also like to share with you that the wage and compensation study is underway as commissioned by this governing body. We anticipate that the results and findings will be back sometime late August. And what we're thinking of, we'll do a end of the year or a fourth quarter planning retreat to where we can really go over into detail on what we have there. The other thing that I'm happy to report is that the operational audit for each of the different departments that comprise our executive team is complete. We have some preliminary work that we want to do before its presentation to the governing body at our next meeting. And then last but certainly not least, we thank the governing body for allowing us to partake in what we consider to be Forest Park's finest. As we, through the office of our press secretary, Mr. Javon Lewis, and our multimedia specialist, Mr. Kwamu Amalero. But these are some pictures of our amazing employees here in the city of Forest Park. So I think the pictures turned out really, really good, and we just wanted to showcase for you just the end result and how beautiful all of our employees are. And this presentation was intended just to show how diverse we really are here in the city of Forest Park. And that's one of our pillars as we talk about One Forest Park. We want everybody to know that not only are we the greatest place in which to live, work, and place, we also have a governing body that personifies what diversity really is. That concludes my city manager's report for today.
Madam Mayor.
All right.
Madam
Oh,
Mayor.
my apologies, Mayor Butler. I almost omitted. We have several new employees that are here tonight that I am to introduce. Those employees, and I'll call them by name. We have Lori Dawson, who is the staff assistant for Chief Chris at the police department. We have Joshua Wilson, who was hired as a police officer. Jeffrey Jackson, our record supervisor. Coleman Gibbs, communication operator and dispatcher. And I think that concludes our new hires for this month in our police department.
All right, thank you.
Point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
So Madam Mayor, I apologize on the minutes. There was one thing on the minutes that I had questions about,
Okay.
and it was the draft. And so I want to try to, I'm sorry, it was the regular minutes.
Mhm.
And I want to try to see if we can, go back. I don't know exactly how to do it. Go back and table that, because on the minutes, if you'll notice on the backside of the regular minutes for May 20th, it has the closing comments by the governing body, and there's nothing there. I think I emailed about it, but I neglected to look and see if it was corrected. But I would like to table that so that we can get the governing body comments on the regular minutes. I'm not sure,
Okay.
Attorney Magicardi, how we actually do
So
that.
it's whoever made the motion would have to withdraw the motion.
So it would be a motion to reconsider. And so since it was unanimously approved, any member could make the motion.
So I'll make a motion that we reconsider the approval of the regular minutes for May 20th.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So now would I,
Now would be a motion to table approval until the next meeting.
okay. So I would like to table the approval of the May 20th meeting until next meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second
Councilman Antoine, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Yes, ma'am. And the proclamation recognizing Municipal Court Clerks Week. Do we have that? Oh, all right, so, Ms. Dorothy Roper Jackson, would you and your staff like to come forward and receive the proclamation? And ask the governing body to come down with me.
Next meeting. Yeah.
You're frowning. Okay, you ready? Whereas municipal court clerks play a significant role in ensuring that municipal courts preserve public safety and promote quality of life in the city of Forest Park and local municipalities across the state. And whereas the procedures for the city of Forest Park Municipal Court operations are set forth by the Uniform Rules of Municipal Court and other laws of the state of Georgia, and more people come in contact with municipal court clerks than all other city services combined. And whereas municipal court clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and committed to the notion that our legal system is based on the principle that an independent, fair, and competent judiciary will interpret and apply the laws that govern us. And whereas municipal court clerks act in a manner that promotes public confidence in the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Now therefore be it resolved, the Forest Park governing body does hereby recognize the week of June 10th through 14th, 2024 as Municipal Court Clerks Week and extends appreciation to the city's municipal court clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent and serve.
I just want to thank everyone I also want to thank actually the mayor for this proclamation for the municipal court and the council bodies. So my staff is here. We have worked tirelessly. We have worked hard for where we are today, and we are very proud of it. So say thank you, city manager, and we want to thank the public as well. Thank you.
I was sucking it.
Where are we at? All right, is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and enter into our first of two public hearings?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any discussion? Ms. Hood, roll call, please.
Councilmember James,
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Now, is there a motion to open the public hearing? The first of two, which is case number RZ 2024-01, the rezoning request for 0 Ferguson Court from RS to RM.
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Hood?
Member James,
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So per our charter, as it pertains to public hearings, 10 minutes is allotted per side in its totality. Those who want to speak in favor of or those who want to speak against the specific item before us today. So I'm going to ask anyone who wants to speak in favor of the rezoning request for 0 Ferguson Court to please stand, line up at the podium. Seeing anyone, is there anyone who wanted to speak against? or is not in favor of the rezoning request for 0 Ferguson Court, you may line up at the podium. All right, not seeing anyone line up. Is there a motion to close said public hearing?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
I mean, yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Now, is there a motion to open the second public hearing, which is the text amendment 2024-03 to increase the number of units per acre by way of a conditional use permit?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I'll second
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yeah.
Councilmember Mills.
All right, thank you. Again, per our charter, 10 minutes per side is allotted. If there anyone who wanted to speak in favor of the text amendment, you may line up at the podium now. Okay, not having anyone line up. Is there anyone who wanted to speak that is not in favor of the text amendment? You may line up at the podium now. All right, not seeing anyone. Is there a motion to close said public hearing?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
All right, so I'm going to backtrack here. Is there a motion to approve the rezoning request for 0 Ferguson Court?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there any other discussion? All right, Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the text amendment to increase the number of units per acre by way of a conditional use permit?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second that.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All right, Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Oh, I
So-
already did that. I already did that. Okay, never mind. New business, council approval of Nutanix software and support renewal. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
I have to second
That was Councilman Antoine. Any further discussion? Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Council approval of an Active Directory rebuild. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any further discussion? Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, item 6. Is there a motion to approve the appointment of Nicole Dozier as a Planning and Community Development Director?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Welcome. Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes, welcome.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the appointment of Sydney Marcellus Williams as the Economic Development Director?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Anton.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And we do have to re-enter into executive session. And so the closing comments by the governing body, Councilwoman James.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out. Thank you to all the new employees. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining our team. We appreciate you all. Congratulations to our new appointees. Congratulations for selecting our city to be a part of and making us and grow us further. We welcome you aboard. Also wanted to say that Mr. Evans, we'll make sure we get that worked out. I also want to congratulate, and they're gone, but our volleyball team, and great work to our Director of Recreation and Leisure for all of the hard work he puts in for making our Recreation and Leisure Department be what it is today. And hopefully when we get our new facility, we won't run into the problems, the growing problems that we have with everybody wanting to use the gym and running out of space. But we welcome the growing pains because we're growing, we're moving on, and we're getting better and better. Also want to remind everyone that the ward meeting hopefully the recording will be out this week. You can go on to the website and see the ward meeting that I host every third Thursday of the month. It is recorded via Zoom, and the information is placed out there for you to go back and see all of our fine, I call them subject matter experts in the city, those directors and those employees that really run our city and make us look good, make me look good. So thank you all so much for participating in that. Mark your calendars for the third Thursday of the month. We will have the next ward meeting at 696 Main Street, the Hartsfield Community Center. Come on out. It starts at 5 o'clock promptly. We should be done by like 5:30 or so. And I always have refreshments for those that are in attendance in person. Thanks a lot.
Councilman Antoine. Councilman Gutierrez.
First off, just welcome to all the new employees. And then real just thank you to Mr. Frank, Dr. Falami, and Mr. Carl for coming up here and giving us, things we need to fix. As a city, we're growing, and we have, fitness classes, dog walks, Councilwoman James's meeting, informing the public, concerts at the park. We are very innovative as a city, but, these are growing pains, and we're going to address them. Sorry you had to go through that, Carl, but I know that Ms. Warrior will definitely get back to you. And yeah, this Friday we will have, I'll be hosting my food truck event on Friday. I hope to see some of y'all there and watch a movie with us in our beautiful park. Hopefully it doesn't rain. And then on Saturday, I'll have a cleanup. But just thank you again for bringing these things to our attention. I really would like for the road that Mr. Frank lives on with our new directors of economic development, there's like 3 houses there. So just, it's kind of a constant thing where they come up here and find, I guess, misinformation, or the sign gets moved. I talked to our city manager, but anything relating to that road, I think we should just give them a courteous call. I know it might, take a little bit of time, but I think it's just the right thing to do to some of our legacy residents, and just updating them on what's going on that road or where it's at. I know they're pretty good at coming out to the meetings because they see the signs there. But I don't know. Change is not easy for everybody. And we're going to have some beautiful homes there eventually. But I want to make sure that they don't feel left out of the progress that we're making. So that's it for me. Nice suit, Shelby.
Councilwoman Wells.
I too would like to welcome our new employees, and also thank our city manager as well as our chiefs, for bringing great talent to the city of Forest Park, and not those that just will move us to the next direction, but the best direction. So I just want to say thank you guys for everything that you bring to the table. And I too want to congratulate the girls volleyball team on winning that championship, and Dr. Falami is gone, but I just want to piggyback off of something that she said, because our kids are our future. And we do a lot of things in our community, and what we need to do is make sure that we're giving back to our children. And so they shouldn't have to go out here and get sponsors to have a banquet. They shouldn't have to go out here to get sponsors to get a trophy when they've accomplished something that helps make our city look good. So I think that's something we need to focus on in our rec department, and hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have something in place so that our kids are not begging for what they should already be receiving. And the telephone directory, Mr. Evans, I agree with you 100%. Like, I'm one of those council members that would just call a department just to see how the customer service is, and sometimes it's terrible, and we deserve better. So I'm not sure, I was one of those people, if it's not broke, don't fix it, but I trust the city manager to do what he needs to do to help the city, but we definitely need to address that because we don't want to get a resident to run around when they're just trying to handle business. So thank you so much for that as well. Fun Friday. Fun Friday is coming up. The first one is June 21st, 7 to 11 p.m. And so I just wanted to give a breakdown on some of the things that Councilwoman Wells and the city of Forest Park have going on. And while we have one of our great pastors here, myself and the Push Two movement, we are doing a Love on the Green. And Love on the Green is not until September, but I want to promote this as much as I can because I feel that it needs to be promoted. And so what we're trying to do is bring love on the green, and we want to involve our churches. We will invite all of the churches in Forest Park. If you have a choir that you will want to come out and sing, your congregation, like we just want to bring the people together on a different level. Because God is first. If he's not, he should be. And we just want to bring that to our community and let the people know that we love them and we are doing other things other than R&B in our community. And so we want to bring some of that gospel and fellowship to Forest Park. And as well as the back to school bash, that will be in August. The date will be announced soon. August the 12th, there will be a car and bike show in the park. And just like Councilman said, we are doing some great things. We want to bring the community together on a good note and just let people know that our city is here, our city is thriving, and we will get better thanks to the leadership that we have. So just want to thank everyone for coming out. And also, Ward 4 newsletters have been mailed out, and if you have not received yours and you're in Ward 4, please let me or the council aides know, and we'll be sure to get you that newsletter, because I just want to make sure that not only Ward 4 is involved, but in the know, but everyone in Forest Park. So thank you guys so much, and you all have a great night.
Councilman Mears.
Yes, ma'am. I too don't want to thank all the new city employees that we have. We need all the help we can get to make this city the best in the world. But I want to, two little points I want to make is, some of you know, some of you don't. We have a weekend crew of inspectors riding around. Mr. Walker has code enforcement. We have people that's on the job on the weekends because a lot of the infringements are happening on the weekend and when they think most everybody's gone, not working. So I think that's doing real well. And I missed Mr. Willie Finch last week. I got chastised about that, so I want to apologize to him and think he's back. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank everyone for coming. I echo the sentiments of my colleagues in welcoming the new members to our Forest Park family. You are coming in at the perfect time where we're no longer on the cusp of a resurgence. We have surpassed that. And so you're truly a part of some historic movements and progress that is going on in this city. And so thank you for choosing Forest Park. I will say the Walking with the Mayor series is resuming this Saturday. And when I did it 2 years ago, I had no idea that there was an actual movement around mayors and getting active in the community. And so it was actually picked up by the Move with the Mayor series. And so I'm excited about the opportunities that will bring. And then this go around, we're partnering with Girl Track and where we're going to keep it moving each month. And so I hope to see you all there. It's the second Saturday of each month at 9 a.m. And this week, we're going to start at Star Park. So I hope to see you all there. And so with that, and you can bring your dogs, your fur babies. And so Hector is the first one said he's going to attend with his fur baby. And so I'm just excited about that. So is there a motion to recess and enter into executive session again?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Mears. What? Okay, who we missing? Is there a motion? Oh, he's in the bath. Is there a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene into our regular meeting?
So move.
That was Councilman Antoine. Is there a second? That was Councilman Gutierrez. All in favor? All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the acquisition of 5210 Springdale for $850,000?
So move.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second by Councilman Gutierrez? All in favor? Oh, wait, you didn't do a roll call. Ms. Hood, roll call, please.
Councilmember James,
Yes.
Councilmember Anton,
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the acquisition of 5258 Springdale for $450,000?
So move.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second? That was Councilman Gutierrez. All right, we're gonna switch it up here. Councilman Mears.
Yes.
What's your vote?
Yes.
Yes, Councilwoman Wells,
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez, Councilman Antoine, and Councilwoman James.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to approve the acquisition of 5273 Springdale for $135,000?
So move.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second?
I second.
Councilman Mears, any further discussion? Councilman Mears,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells, Councilman Gutierrez. It's
Yeah.
tricky doing it backwards. Councilman Antoine
Yes.
and Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the acquisition of 5087 West Street as a backup offer for $650,000?
So move.
That's Councilwoman Wells, a second by Councilwoman James. Any discussion? Councilman Mears,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells,
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilman Antoine, and Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Just some clarity. We need to further state on the record to authorize city manager to amend the budget as necessary to accomplish, these acts.
All right, and is there a motion to allow the city manager to amend our budget to approve such acquisitions?
I'll second.
Councilman Antoine, second by Councilwoman James. Any discussion? Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells, Councilman Gutierrez, Councilman Antoine, and Councilwoman James.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to appoint Mr. Yoni Cortez to the, what board is this? Oh, Urban Design Review Board and Planning Commission.
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Mears, any further discussion? Councilman Mears, Councilwoman Wells, Councilman Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Antoine, and Councilwoman James.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to appoint Ms. Lois Wright to the Planning Commission? Wait, is he on the plan? I'm sorry.
No, it's just one.
So,
One board. He just put on his application both boards.
okay, so he's on the, Yoni is on the Urban Redesign Board. Okay. All right, so the motion for Ms. Lois Wright to be appointed to the Planning Commission.
So move.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second? That was Councilman Gutierrez. Is there any other discussion? Councilman Mears,
Same.
Councilwoman Wells.
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilman Antoine.
Yes.
And Councilwoman James.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And now is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
PLANN. I spelled planning wrong. All right, that was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second? That was Councilman Antoine. All in favor? All right, thank you.